I love books, but there's just one in particular that I cannot live without. Alright, it's more like a collection of books. It's the Holy Bible. Now, this isn't just going to be a spiel about how much I love Jesus and how much of a cool guy he is, because chances are, if you've spoken to me for long enough, I've already told you that. What I want to do is get you thinking. I think that many people believe that they have a solid understanding of the scriptures, even if they don't subscribe to the contents, but I want to challenge that. I want to show you how much these texts have to offer in more than just a spiritual sense. Alright, okay, I do have a little bit of a spiel. I have a lot of books. Shelves and shelves, stacks and stacks. Now, I don't really care about any of these books in particular, only for their contents, but there is just one that I feel sentimental about. A little leather pocket Bible. See, I found Jesus when I was 12 years old. I didn't know a lot about him, that came later, but I did know that he's real and that I should follow him. At the time, I was in deep need of community, and I eventually found that in church. And when I ultimately decided to get baptized and give my life to Christ, my grandmother Marilyn, who has since passed away, gifted me this book. Since then, a lot has happened on my journey. A lot of change and a lot of doubt. When I moved to Toronto at 18, I had to discover who I am and rediscover who God is, and I did it all with this book. It's my moral guide and my word. So, what gives? I got baptized at 12 and didn't know God until 18. What was I missing? Well, what I was missing was depth. And depth came from understanding the Bible. So here are a few things that I've learned. You can't just read the Bible cover to cover, like any other book. I mean, you can try, but you'll probably have a really hard time. I've tried so many times to jump in at Genesis and read through to Revelation. Safe to say, I made it about 20 chapters and called it each time. It wasn't until I started understanding literary strategies that I began to get some understanding of the Bible. First, you have to understand literature. Over the 66 books, there are 7 different genres, ranging from poetic to apocalyptic. Before entering any of them, you should understand the genre, historical context, and style. Think about it like reading the back of a book before really getting into it. Every book tells a story of one God and his journey with his people. It goes over church histories and experiences, ultimately leading to Jesus. If you're at all interested, start with the Gospels and go from there. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are 4 books that recount Jesus' 3-year ministry, and his persecution, death, and resurrection are told from 4 different points of view. Here you'll find the parables and philosophical teachings of Jesus that shaped the morality and laws of our time. Having a solid understanding of where the Old Testament is pointing to makes it so much easier to take in. I hope that this leaves you with a little bit more questions than answers. My hope is that you're inspired to dig in a little bit into what these texts really have to say, and to do so with a scholarly and open mind. This is my word, and I hope that it can be yours too.